So let's check out this suspension. See how it does in sort of move this pedal out of the way here. Now obviously I don't have the chain connected, so you can't tell if there's going to be kickback, you know, what they call it, pedal kickback, right? Bring it up like that. See that, is that in frame? Yeah, I think that's in frame. So let's just look at the suspension, the movement of the suspension. So right now it's fully extended, right? The wheel's off the ground. Now the wheel's touching, and let's go down. Oops. Front wheel moved on me, so let's try that again. Okay, extended. Oh, I feel it feels like the back wheel is stretching. It's increasing the wheelbase. Is it increasing wheelbase? Kind of hard to tell. When I squeeze it, when I push it down, it feels like it wants to push the front wheel. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. So let's do that in slow motion, see how that works. Alright, so let's try that again. This time I have the front brakes on. Prior to the previous clip, I didn't have any brakes, so the back was, you know, moving around. Let me apply the front brake while I compress the rear, and we can see if the rear is extending or not. Because prior to that, without the brakes, you know, I couldn't tell if it was extending or not, or you know. if it was coming out or in, or you know, I just can't tell because the wheels move. Okay. All right, so let's do this. All right, so brakes are on. Let me get the pedals out of the way. Front brake is on. Let's push this down. Let's see. So it looks like it didn't really, well, it might have moved back a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it does move back a little bit, just barely. Barely, like a few millimeters. I'm looking at the tire. I'm looking at one of the knobs of the tire in relation to the concrete. I can actually see I can actually see it's kind of rolling back a little bit. So let's try that again. Yep, it does roll back, just barely though. Hopefully you guys can see it. Hopefully you guys can see the wheel kind of like rolling backwards. Right, so there's no chain, so it's completely independent, so there's no interference with the kickback or anything like that, right? So you actually see the wheel moving backwards slightly. So this suspension does grow. You know, the chainstay length, it does grow from the, you know, bottom bracket center to axle center. So actually that's a good thing. So that's the advantage that the Dave Wiggle linkage right here, the Dave Wiggle linkage here, and the horse link. Because the purpose of the horse link is not just to split the separate the pedal forces from the brake forces, you know, so those two become separate from each other, but also the purpose of the horse link is when this right here, when it moves this way, it actually extends it you know, this, because when it moves further like this, the axle actually moves further away from the bottom bracket, so it should, you know, in theory, extend that chainstay length. And the Dave Wiggle linkage here, the two linkage here, I think it also does that as well. Actually, let me look at it from this point of view. Actually, let me look right here and let me see if I can see that. Man, there's hardly any movement here at all. Barely see movement. There is a little bit. Yeah, there is a little bit. And it does move this way, or I should say this right here moves. The chainstay moves down. This angle moves down. Let's look at this right here. You can see from here it moves away because it's pivot on here, but this is also, there's a linkage here, but there's also a linkage here, two linkages. This top linkage doesn't move much, it's barely is like this, but this top bottom linkage right here, this one moves a lot. And both of these linkages here, they're like a saloon door, like a cowboy, you know, western saloon door, where this linkage here, this bottom linkage is, let's see, there's a pivot here and there's another pivot right like this. So this right here moves like that, right? Because the linkage is like this, and so it moves like this. And this linkage is like this, and it moves like that. So basically, let's see, am I looking at this right? Yeah, so this bottom linkage moves counterclockwise, whereas the top linkage moves clockwise. So they're basically moving like this. It's kind of like the VPP, like the VPP linkage. It moves opposite of each other. One moves clockwise, the other one moves counterclockwise. Let's look at it again. So here I'm compressing it all the way. As far as my top tube right here, or not the top tube, the seat tube, and the bottom of the chainstay brace right here, or the chainstay brace. Just pushing it down. I'm actually hitting the bump stop, so the bump stop's actually pushing me back. So right here, I make contact with the bump stop. It's right there. I easily have about ½ an inch between the seat tube and the seat stay bridge. But if I compress the bump stop, oh man, let me put my weight on it. If I compress it down, it looks like there's about 3/8, maybe a little bit less than 3/8, more than a 1/4 inch for sure, of space. So for you know, because this shock here, it has a not the volume spacer, not the tokens, but it has that. I took it out, but it also has the shock stroke spacer. So this one has the shock stroke spacer in here. I think this one is set at this shock right here. I think the stroke is set at, is it 50, 45 or 50? Let me see. Let me double check. 45 or 50. Let me see. So it's bottom out, the O-rings, hitting the O-ring. Let me see. This one's at 45 right now. So I'm not sure if I bottomed out the bump stop or not. If I didn't bottom out the bump stop, then the suspension travel here is 50. If I did bottom out, then it's 45. I don't think it's 45. That sounds kind of short. I think it's 50. 50 millimeters of travel. So so if I have that extra 5 more millimeters, I will still have probably about a 1/4 inch of space right here between the seat tube and then the seat stay bridge. But if I take off that stroke spacer and increase the stroke from, let me see, I think it's every 2.5 millimeters. So if it's 40, if it's 50, so I think it goes from 50 to 52.5 to, I think this shock could go up to as much as probably 55, maybe. I'm guessing is the maximum stroke, and the minimum stroke is probably maybe 45. So I think that's like something. I'm not exactly sure. You know, you could look that up. But anyways, if I increase the shock stroke, I don't think I think it will. The seat tube will probably touch if you bottom out. Yeah, I think it might. And I'm not gonna do that because I want this bike to be at 130 rear, 140 front. Because my other two bikes are, my Privateer is a 141 rear, and my Noli Fugitive is a 138 rear. So I don't need another 140 rear bike. 130 is good. Actually, I think I would prefer 130, less travel. Okay, so let's do this in a slow motion. Do this clip in slow motion and see how it goes.